Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 10. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I just want to thank you for investing your time with me today. And I enjoy the space that we get to create together. Today I want to talk to you about a couple of different things that really fit together beautifully and are really important as you're on your journey as an entrepreneur, whether that's in the real estate industry or in another industry. It's really important for us to take a look at the big picture. And I know for myself, for a long time, when I first became an entrepreneur in the real estate world back in 2001, my goal was really, or my plan really was just to work hard, to work really hard until I didn't have to work so hard anymore. And that is what I just thought the journey was, because that's just what you did. You worked hard, you made money, and you continue to work hard to make money to the point that you didn't have to work so hard anymore. And a lot of us are operating under that plan. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And it can lead to a source of frustration. And, I think we've talked a little bit about this in a previous podcast, but it wasn't until I started working with my current coach earlier this year, and that he was able to put it and tie it into three really great categories for me about what I should be striving for as an entrepreneur. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a plan for your personal and business growth. And I want to talk to you about your beliefs so that we can tie all of this together and make it happen. So first, the three categories that my coach so brilliantly put together were the freedoms. And we focus on three specific freedoms as an entrepreneur. This is far above and beyond just the work hard method. And that is having financial freedom, business freedom, and soul freedom. And those three things are so incredibly important. So let me just take a minute and explain what they are. Financial freedom is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. It is such a cool space to be able to be in, to not really have to think about, can I do that? Should I do that? Who would I like to have come with me? That person really can't afford to do it, but I really want them there. So I'm just going to go ahead and pay for them to be part of my experience. That's financial freedom. And it is really powerful when you get to experience that, when you get to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. And you don't really have to give it a whole lot of thought other than that. Yes, there are some responsibilities. Yes, you can't necessarily go buy a private jet just because you want to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, unless you're at that stage of life and the stage of your business where you can. The other part is the business freedom. And I think this is where, as entrepreneurs, we struggle a little bit. And that is to work because you want to work, not because you have to work. And it's also creating the space of business freedom that your business survives and goes on even if you're not there on the daily. Okay, so if I wanted to take 3 weeks off of business as a real estate agent, typically I'm out of business for 3 weeks. My business doesn't typically go on. But if I've created business freedom, the ultimate business freedom, I'm not only working because I want to work, I also have systems and models in place that allow me to do more than just work, and my business and income continues. And the last freedom is soul freedom. And this is so important. And again, I think it's an area that we just don't pay enough attention to because we're so focused on working hard and making money. And soul freedom is incredibly important. It's about experiencing joy and happiness, okay? And those two get lumped together a lot, but they're two very different things. First, I want to talk to you about happiness. Happiness comes from the word happenstance, meaning it's because of something that has happened that has created this feeling or emotion. So an external thing happened and now I'm feeling happy. So it can be really, if we want to just give an easy example, I got a new car, right? And that created happiness for the moment. It's an external thing. Now that happiness is based upon something outside of me. So it's not going to last a long time. Now, no lie, I love cars. So every time I get in my current vehicle that I'm driving, I do feel a little bit happy because I love the car I'm driving. But that happiness only happens when I'm connected to that event. Okay. Joy is something that's driven from inside. Living a joyful life. I think about my life being very joyful, that it's not because of something external. It comes from inside of me. I'm joyful because of the life that I've created by intention. I'm joyful because I get to see my life unfold as I've wanted it to, as I intended it to, versus just taking whatever came my way. And if I'm going to be really honest, team, and I said this earlier, when I first became an entrepreneur, my plan was just to work hard. And I did that for many, many, many years until I realized that there was more to being an entrepreneur than just working hard. So your financial freedom, your business freedom, and your soul freedom are really important. And I will tell you, it takes a moment to allow yourself to create that space. All right. The other thing that is really important, in addition to the freedoms, is that you spend some time working on your personal growth. All right. And that could be business related, right? It could be in your field of expertise. It could be as an entrepreneur. But we spend a lot of time as entrepreneurs. Hopefully, you all have a business plan and a strategy. We spend a lot of time just focused on that. How do I get from point A to point Z and hit my goal? And that's the plan that I'm going to follow. That's the strategy that I'm going to follow. And we put a lot of time and effort and energy into that. And what we forget, and I will tell you, I was guilty of this myself, because I had this brilliant idea that if I worked for 3 months, then I'd take a week off and then work for 3 months. And I was really creating burnout for myself. What I realized is that if we do not pay attention to the person that's running the business, I mean, if you're a real estate agent entrepreneur, you know that you are what's driving the business, not some little machine in a garage that we can go do an update to. It's you. And if we're not growing as a person, we run the risk of our business maxing out or capping out and becoming stale. All right. So I have always since I was taught about it, I've always had a growth plan in place. And my growth plan is, how do I strategize to grow and stretch myself to be the best version of me? All right. So I always have a 12-month growth plan. And on my growth plan, this is my growth plan, just an example for you. Every month, I have a strategy to read a book. All right. Business related, mindset related, personal growth related, spiritual, whatever it is, it's on my growth plan that if I read, I'm going to grow as a person. That's part of my growth plan. I just got back from EXP's national conference. That was on my growth plan because I was going to be surrounded by big thought leaders. I was exposed to new ways of doing business as a real estate agent, real estate leader, real estate coach. So that was part of my growth plan. I've got a couple different conferences on the schedule in my upcoming 12 months that are going to be part of my growth in the next 12 months. Coaching. I mentioned I have a coach. He is on my growth plan. I have a one-on-one coach that every month I have several sessions with. That's part of my growth plan to help me become the best version of me. In addition, I have several coaches that I work with one-on-one. But in addition, on my growth plan, I have invested in a couple of group coaching programs where I'm part of a group of 20 to 100 people that are taking a program all collectively together, and we're learning and we're masterminding, and that's on my growth plan. So continuing education can be part of your growth plan. It's just having a strategy that is going to allow you to grow to be the best version of you, which ultimately is going to impact your business and impact your freedoms, financial, business, and soul. So they are tied together. The last thing that I want to talk about is beliefs. Having the freedoms and creating a growth plan is making a big assumption that you believe that you're worthy and you believe that it's possible for you. So we've talked about beliefs in previous podcasts, and I just want you to sit with this and understand that you are worthy. You're worthy of this level of success. You're worthy of creating your life by intention and holding on to that belief that it's possible and it's possible for you. And this isn't just some, pie in the sky idea that I've come up with. I'm living proof of the freedoms. I didn't know that's what it was called until my coach helped me figure this piece out. But I was doing that. I was creating the life I wanted. I've always had a growth plan, which has challenged me as a human being to be the best version of me, which allows me to show up and be the best version for you. And then just my beliefs. I had to let go of a lot of limiting beliefs that just wasn't for me, that was for other people, and embrace that this is possible and is possible for me, and I deserve it. I deserve wealth. I deserve freedom. I deserve a big life. So check yourself out on your freedoms. Where are you? What are you doing to create that? I will tell you a phenomenal book to read about the freedoms is by T. Harv Eker, and it's The Millionaire Mind. It is one of the absolute best books I have ever read, and it really helps you create financial freedom. So I would say, all of you, I'm going to give you your first item to put on your growth plan. Sit down today and create a growth plan. It doesn't have to be fancy. I think a lot of you would be shocked to see what mine is. It's just a spreadsheet with the month, each month of the year on it. And I've outlined what my goal is for my growth that month. So again, there's always a book. A lot of times there's a conference. There's my one-on-one coach and then there are group coaching programs throughout the year that are on my growth plan. And when I follow that and commit to that, I know that I'm challenging myself to grow and to become the best version possible for myself and all of the clients that I have the privilege of serving and my family. And then lastly, is just sit with your beliefs and make sure that you are congruent in alignment with it and that you know that you deserve this. You know that it's possible. Anything you want is possible and that you deserve it. So I hope this helps you out. I mean, it's a fairly simple concept, but it can get a little challenging if you're not intentional about it. So work on your freedoms, work on your growth plan, and hold the space for yourself that you deserve it. As always, I would appreciate comments, likes, and shares. If you know somebody that would benefit from learning from me and hearing this podcast or any of our other podcasts, please share this with anybody that you know that you think would benefit from it. I have an intention of reaching as many people as possible to help them see life and business through a different light. And I need your help for that. So I'd appreciate any comments to like and to share. As always, if you've got a question or you want further help or you're looking to add something to your growth plan, such as coaching, please reach out to me. We've got amazing coaches. I'm one as well. We've got great group coaching programs. We have so many opportunities for growth. Feel free to reach out to me directly and I'll help you out with that piece. And I just appreciate you being here. I hope you found today valuable. I cannot wait to see you next week. Until then, go work on your freedoms. We'll talk to you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.